Thank you. Thank you. Welcome to my comedy special. Let's kick it off softly and progress through time. Agreed? So the other day I was talking with my wife and she said, I want another baby. I can't tell you all what a relief that was. Did not know she also dislikes the one we have now. My son really loves astronomy. He's always looking up at the stars. The other day he asked me how stars die. Usually an overdose, son, I said. You know, sometimes I wonder what the worst combination of illnesses could be. Turns out it's Alzheimer's and diarrhea. You're running but can't remember where. All right, now let's take it up a notch, shall we? So, my girlfriend's dog died recently. I tried to cheer her up by getting her an identical one. Big mistake. She screamed at me, "What am I supposed to do with 2 dead dogs?" Speaking of mistakes, what's the worst thing you can do to a blind man? Leave a plunger in the toilet. Work has been stressful lately. The other day, my boss told me to have a good day, so I went home. I thought I'd be a cool dad this Christmas and bought my son a trampoline. The ungrateful little fucker just sat in his wheelchair and cried. Changing gears a bit, I heard Mexico wanted to create an Olympic team. Too bad that everyone who can run, jump, and swim is already in the US. I was at a bar the other day having a drink when the waitress screamed, "Does anyone know CPR?" I yelled, "I know the entire alphabet." And we all laughed and laughed. Well, except one person. Okay, I think we're warmed up now. Speaking of warming up, have you all heard the old saying, give a man a match and he'll be warm for a few hours? Set a man on fire and he'll be warm for the rest of his life. I tried to warm up some guy last night, but he started screaming and running away from me. I guess he disliked the smell of gasoline. Or maybe he was just too proud to take friendly fire. Let me tell you about the other day when I took a young boy into the woods. At some point, he started complaining, "Hey, mister, it's getting really dark and I'm scared." I looked at him and said, "How do you think I feel? I have to walk back alone." Have you heard the phrase, "One man's trash is another man's treasure"? Wonderful saying, but a horrible way to find out you were adopted. Thanks, Dad. I promised myself I'd be the best dad in the world. So when my daughter asked if she could have a sleepover with her girlfriends, I instantly agreed. Later that night, while passing in front of her room, I heard them playing a game of truth or dare. One of her friends asked her, "When was the last time you had an orgasm?" She replied, "Oh, about 3 days ago." At that point, I lost it. I knew she was faking it last night. You know, it got me thinking. What do a frozen beer, a burnt pizza, and a pregnant woman have in common? In all 3 cases, someone forgot to pull out in time. Anyone knows what's another name for coming inside a woman? No? Loading the dishwasher. You won't believe what happened to me the other day. I was walking to a bar when I stumbled upon this girl tied up to the railroad tracks. Naturally, I untied her, and we ended up having sex right there. It was wild. So many different positions. Anyway, I finally make it to the bar, and my friends are like, "Dude, why are you so late?" So I tell them about the girl I found and all the crazy positions we tried. They're all impressed, giving me props and everything. Then one of them asks, "Did you get head?" And I had to admit, I couldn't find it. All right, I've got a wild one for you. Imagine this. A blonde woman survives a shipwreck and somehow makes it to a deserted island. She's exhausted but thankful to be alive. The only other person on the island? Tarzan. So she asks him, "Tarzan, how do you manage to find food?" Tarzan replies, "Tarzan hunt, Tarzan cook, Tarzan eat." She nods, thinking, all right, makes sense. Then she asks, "And how do you manage to get clothes?" Tarzan says, "Tarzan hunt, Tarzan skin, Tarzan wear." She's starting to get the hang of it, but then she asks, "And Tarzan, what do you do for sex?" Tarzan responds, "Tarzan find tree with hole, Tarzan undress, Tarzan finish." The blonde woman thinks for a moment and says, "Well, you don't need to do that anymore. Now you have me." She takes him to a bush, gets undressed, and bends over. Tarzan, confused but willing, steps back, and with all his might, kicks her in the butt. She's in shock, gasping for breath, and asks, "Tarzan, what are you doing?" Tarzan replies, "Tarzan, first check for squirrels." Thank you all for being an incredible audience tonight, and a special shout out to my friend Lemmy for the laughs and inspiration. Have a fantastic night, everyone. And until next time, peace.